Hey guys, welcome back to Zethythonix channel. Today we are back for another H.L.M.S episode again, and this time will be Buster Gundam from Gundam Seed. Before this video starts, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell next to it. Enjoy! Last time in the G Gundam episode, we know that G Project got 5 units. One of the units will be the Buster Gundam. Out of the 3 units in the X100 series, the Buster Gundam role was artillery, supporting the others from a long range and attack enemies' ship, facilities, or MS, MA from a long range. Just like the others in the G Project, the Buster Gundam was equipped with PS armor. When it activates, the grey armor will color itself with beige scheme with a bit of green and orange mixed in. Since the Buster Gundam role was firing from a long range, there were additional sensors. The big sensor on the head was protected with another layer of armor to make sure it won't be easily damaged. The developers built 2 energy packs on the knees. As I said before, PS armor consumes energy very quickly when you are hit, and the Buster Gundam consumed energy even faster because of the weapons on its back, which was why the weapons got their own sub-generators to extend the operation time. The Buster Gundam armaments include 220mm 6-tube missile pods on both shoulders. Because the Buster Gundam got no close combat weapons, so this is the only weapon to engage close-range enemy. 350mm gun launcher on the right side of the waist. It uses electromagnetic force to launch projectiles similar to railgun or linear gun. It could also add solid shells to achieve armor piercing or high explosive shots. On the left side of the waist, there is a 94mm high energy rifle. To further enhance the long-range support ability, the 2 weapons could combine together and switch between 2 forms depending on the situation. When the rifle on the front and launcher on the back, it will form a hyper-impulse long-range sniper rifle. This form will be used for long-range sniping attack or to penetrate battleships. When the launcher on the front and rifle on the back, it will form an anti-armor shotgun. It will fire a single stream that split into multiple shells, destroying multiple MS in seconds or to disable battleships. No matter which form, the combined weapons cannot fire rapidly because it will overload or overheat easily. The Buster Gundam was stolen by Zaft and piloted by Dagger. It participated multiple battles against the Archangel and Strike Gundam. During the 8th Fleet low-orbit battle, it shot down a couple of battleships, and soon it was pulled into the atmosphere with Strike and G Gundam. When they landed on Earth, Izaku and Dagger was seen on the Lepsips class, but they didn't do much. Later, the Zara team forced the Archangel to land in Orb. When the Archangel left Orb, the Zara team came again. The Buster Gundam was shot down by Skygrapspa piloted by Mula Vlaga. Did you know a fun fact? The reason why Buster and his pilot was captured by Archangel and later joined them was because they were trying to boost the sales of the Buster Gundam models. So, yeah, you get it. During Battle of Orb, Dagger was released, but he didn't walk away and used the Buster Gundam to join the battle. He was officially one of the new members in the Free Ship Alliance in this battle. In space, Dagger shot down some Strike Daggers and entered into the Mendel colony with the Strike Gundam. Also, Izaku thought that Natros took Dagger's Buster Gundam, so he attacked him, but later, he calmed down and listened to Dagger's words. In the second battle of Yakindiwe, the Buster Gundam performed well as a supporting role, but during the last phase of the battle, it was heavily damaged by ZGMF X138 Providence Gundam piloted by Laolu Kluze. In the Gundam Seed RE manga, the Buster Gundam was equipped with an underwater equipment. This equipment was built with the parts from UMF-4A Gun and UMF-5 Suno. There were new armor on the chest, back, legs, and feet. It will switch into underwater cruising mode when operating in water. When needed, the underwater equipment could quickly change into a meteor-like MA. So far, all we know was that there were missiles in the equipment. It wasn't sure about there were other weapons or not. Since Earth Alliance successfully developed the GAT-01A1 Dagger, which was a mass-produced MS series that were available to equip striker packs, the Earth Alliance developed the Buster Striker for the Dagger, which was based on the leftover data that EA got about the Buster Gundam. During the early stages of the development, the developers find out that simply adding the striker pack cannot use the full power of the striker pack. So what they did was using the data of the Buster Gundam combined with Dagger's parts and inner frame. The mass-produced version, Buster Gundam, was born. is called Buster Dagger. But this version wasn't equipped with PS armor. Instead, it got laminated armor on the cockpit to strengthen the defense of it. But because it doesn't have PS armor, the energy consumption was reduced and the operation time was extended. The Buster Dagger armaments include 220mm triple missile pod. EA wanted to reduce the overall weight, so they shrank down from 6 to 3 missiles. On the back, it got the same pair of weapons like the Buster Gundam, 350mm gun launcher on the right and 94mm high energy rifle on the left. There is a pair of ES-01 beam saber on both forearms to provide Buster Dagger some close combat ability, which the original version lacked of. There wasn't any information about how many Buster Daggers were produced, but there was one famously known Buster Dagger piloted by Rila Emilia. She was part of the main forces in Operation 8.8, a large-scale attack on Zethythonix Carpentaria base. The operation was very successful. Later, it was seen again during Second Battle of Yakindue. It was fighting against the YFX-200 Zikuti arms, piloted by H.L.M. Fuchs. The result was a draw, but very soon the Buster Dagger was disabled by ZGMF-X10A Freedom Gundam. The stolen Gundams performed very well in the war. In order to respond to this situation, the EA collaborated with H.L.M.S conglomerate owned by Muda Azraelu. Using the technologies and funding from the H.L.M S conglomerate, the second generation G weapons was born. Calamity Forbidden Raider from X100 to 300 series all developed one new unit. Using the Buster Gundam's data and its development concept, the Calamity Gundam was created. The concept was the same like Buster Gundam, completely gave up close combat abilities. Its role will be supporting allies from the rear with multiple powerful weapons. The Calamity Gundam was equipped with Transphase armor, short form as TP armor. TP armor is a new version of PS armor. It doesn't change color when it was triggered. Instead of non-stopping activation, the TP armor changed to 2 layers of armor. The outer armor was normal armor with detector. The inner armor was PS armor. The inner PS armor will activate when there was an attack detected on the outer armor. This action will save energy and reduce the energy consumption, as well as extending the operation time of the G weapons. However, it will still take damage from powerful weapons or a large number of attacks at the same time. The noticeable MS with TP armor include the second generation G weapons and Gundam Astray Blue Frame 2nd L. Although there were multiple powerful thrusters all over the body, but the Calamity Gundam still unable to achieve independent atmospheric flight. It would use the Raider Gundam as its carrier to travel around in the atmosphere, but its thrusters were good enough to hover on land or above water. The control system of the Calamity Gundam was very complex. It got a customized OS that could only control by biological CPU. Let me do a short explanation of biological CPU. The first generation of it was called Boosted Man. Their purpose was just like core part of the MS. They were considered as gear. They had micro implants in their brain and glands. Went through several special mental training to wipe out their sense of fear and increase the aggression in combat. The Boosted Men were naturals who were boosted by drugs. Because they rely on drugs, their combat abilities could rival coordinators like Kira Yamato or Afran Salah. Not only combat abilities, because they were controlled by drugs, which means they were absolutely loyal. However, there was a time limit on the drugs. As soon as the effect was gone, their nervous system would start to collapse and went crazy. The Calamity Gundam armaments include Toast Block 337mm Plasma Support Bazooka, a pair of Slag 125mm high-energy long-range beam cannon on the back, an anti-beam shield with a pair of Kavas wide 2-barrel 150mm ram cannon on it, and Scalar 580mm multi-phase energy cannon on the upper torso. The Calamity Gundam was first launched in Battle of Orb. It shot down a lot of M1 Astray and fought the Perfect Strike Gundam for a while. Later, the Druggies came back and attempted to capture the mass driver at Kaguya. Freedom and Justice fought the Druggies and successfully stopped them. In space, it fought several battles against the Free Ship Alliance. In both Battle of Boazi and Yakindue battle, the Druggies were served as the guard for the Peacemaker team. They fought the Free Ship Alliance and zapped, but at the near end of the war, the Calamity Gundam was destroyed by Justice Gundam with Meteor unit piloted by Afran Salah. The EA started the Rebuild 1416 program. Calamity Gundam was in the program as well. This program was extending specific MS idea into multi-purpose use. This time, the Calamity Gundam was changed to close combat specification. Using the data from Sword Striker Pack and Calamity Gundam, the Sword Calamity Gundam was developed. This version completely removed all the long-range weapons and focused on the close combat weapons. Thanks to this change, the Sword Calamity Gundam's mobility was substantially improved. Different than the original Calamity Gundam, the OS on it was natural use OS instead of biological CPU use OS. There were a total of 3 units being produced. Unit 1 was the test unit, Unit 2 was piloted by Edward Harrelson, and Unit 3 was piloted by 4 soldiers. The Sword Calamity Gundam armaments include a pair of Armor Schneider combat knife on the legs, Midas Messer beam boomerangs on the shoulders, Panzer Eisen rocket launcher on both forearms, Scalar 580mm multi-phase energy cannon on the upper torso, and 2 Sweer Guerrilla anti-ship sword. Compared to the original version, the Sword Calamity Gundam energy cannon was reduced to 30% output. The anti-ship swords on the Sword Calamity was the final production version. The one on the Sword Strike Gundam was the prototype. The difference between them was the prototype version will emit a short beam blade on the bottom end. The final production version was laser gun on the bottom end. The Sword Calamity Gundam's anti-ship sword could dock together to enhance its cutting power. Since I can't find the full chapters of the Gundam Seed Destiny Astray and other MSV manga, so there might be information missing, feel free to fill in the missing information. The most famous Sword Calamity was the Unit 2. Edward was the pilot and participated multiple battles with the Unit 3 piloted by 4 soldiers. During the third battle of Victoria, both Sword Calamity Gundams were launched with 2 strike daggers next to them, striking fear in the heart of Zav soldiers by one slicing every Jin in half. However, halfway of the battle, the Unit 3 ran into an invisible MS, which was the Gundam Astray Goldframe Amatsu. Magically, the Unit 3 and the pilot was MIA after the mission. Nobody knows what happened, a lot of different explanations about where it went. The most common reason was Muda Azraelu secretly sold the Unit 3 and the pilot to the Sahaku twins. Later, the Unit 3 was seen again to assassinate Kagari Yuna Asaha. The assassination was ordered by Londojina Sahaku, but Guy Murakumo stopped the assassination. After the second battle of Yakindiwe, Edward defected to USSA. The reason was unclear because I wasn't able to find the full manga to understand the story. He took the Unit 2 and raided full spec with him. The EA believed that if Edward died, people in South Africa will lose their heart and the rebellion would end. They sent out 3 raided full spec, but it was all destroyed by the Sword Calamity Gundam. EA sent out a lot of aces to kill him, but Edward still survived. The last battle of the Sword Calamity Gundam was against the Unit 1 piloted by Rila Emilia, but Edward still won the battle. He wanted to check her condition after Rina MS was down, but he was shot by Rina. Jazz Rebel took him to a former ace pilot who was also a doctor, Michael Coast, where Edward was treated for his injuries. Both damaged Sword Calamity units were salvaged by Kite Madigan and became his personal MS collection. But Kite promised Jazz if Edward needed his MS again, he would give him back his Sword Calamity Gundam. The stolen G weapons performed very well during the CE-71 war. The EA partnered with Action Industry and started the Action project, upgrading the Buster Gundam. They remanufactured the Buster Gundam. The reborn version was the same as the original version except it was equipped with VPS armor. The remanufactured version was developed into Verde Buster Gundam. The concept of it was exactly the same like the Buster Gundam, but further improved. The developers removed the original camera and put a new FCS sensor on the Verde Buster Gundam. This new sensor allowed the MS to shoot from a longer range and improve the accuracy. However, this sensor is very fragile. If it was damaged, the pilot can't even see anything. So, to prevent this problem, the developers extended the protection armor and covered the whole face. The Phantom Pain usually launch as a group of 3. The Verde Buster Gundam will be supporting from behind with its powerful long-range weapons. Also, just like the Blue Jewel Gundam, it was equipped with power extender to extend the operation time. The Verde Buster Gundam armaments include 6-tube 220mm multi-purpose missile pod on both shoulders, 350mm gun launcher and 94mm high-energy beam cannon on the shoulders. They were upgraded version of the Buster Gundam version, but they cannot combine together. Lastly, 2 M9009B composite bayonet beam rifle. They could combine together to form cannon mode. There was a bayonet under each barrel. This new weapon solved the problem where Buster Gundam cannot handle any close combat. The bayonets were beam guidance device during cannon mode. The Verde Buster Gundam was first launched to attack one of the ZAF bases. Soon, it participated in the escort mission of GFAS X-1 Destroy Gundam, supporting the Blue Jiu Gundam and Strike Noir Gundam. Finally, when the Phantom Ping attacked the DSSD space station, the Verde Buster damaged the station, but it ran out of energy from all the continuous shots. It was surrounded by a large group of UT-1D civilian Astray DSSD custom, and the Verde Buster Gundam was destroyed. The Action Industry didn't only upgrade the Buster Gundam, the chief engineer, Vivi, upgraded the Calamity Forbidden Raider by himself. The upgraded Calamity Gundam was called Blau Calamity Gundam. Basically, this upgrade plan was doubling every weapon to further boost its firepower. Due to the additional weapons, the weight has been increased. Action Industries added extra thrusters on the legs and increased the main thrusters output. Since these MS weapons were power hungry, Action Industry added power extender on it as well. One of the most unique features was the trial system. It allows the Blau Calamity, Rod Forbidden and Galp Raider to cooperate better by this system. This system was a direct copy from the ZGMF X56S Destiny In Plus Gundam R's buddy system. The Blau Calamity Gundam was equipped with AI-80. The MS could operate without an actual pilot in the cockpit. As I said, the Blau Calamity Gundam just doubled all the weapons from the Calamity Gundam, except the anti-beam shield increased to 2 of them and moved to the shoulders. The only new armament was combined shield on both forearms. They were 30mm 6-barrel Gatling gun mounted on the shield. It seems like most of the parts were the same as the one on Strike Gundam IWSP. The Blau Calamity first mission was fighting against the Goof Galactica piloted by Mr. Knight. Even the Goof had high mobility, but the overwhelming firepower from the Blau Calamity Gundam completely shut down the Goof Galactica. Later, it fought a mock battle with the Strike Noir Gundam and lost the battle. When the 3 upgraded MS headed to space, they interrupted the battle between Destiny In Plus Gundam R and Gundam Astray Red Frame. The 3 Gundams successfully captured the AI-8 on the Red Frame, which Vivi used its starter to develop his own AI-80. Lastly, the Destiny In Plus Gundam R and D Daggers came to attack the Action Industry factory. The 3 units deployed again and shot down numerous D Daggers. However, the 3 units were all destroyed by Lord Gui in his Gundam Astray Red Dragon a week later. The Liberian Works also upgraded the Buster Gundam by themselves. Their version was called Hell Buster Gundam. The reason why it was named as Hell was because its ability to fire numerous projectiles at the target. Just like the Regen Jiu Gundam, the Liberians equipped hardpoints for striker packs on this Hell Buster Gundam. The striker pack on this Gundam was called Buster Striker, but the design was different than the original Buster Gundam. The weapon's energy was drawn from the backpack instead of the unit's battery. The Liberians added extra sensors on the chest and upgraded the main camera on the head. According to the calculation, the accuracy was improved by 30%. They added landing units on the knee armor, providing more stability when firing the weapons. One of the biggest upgrades of this version was it was equipped with Mirage Colloid's stealth system. But since this feature was famously known on the Blitz Gundam, I want to introduce it fully during the Blitz Gundam episode, so I will only do a short intro for it. The Mirage Colloid system will release particles that were held in place by a magnetic field. The particles can block infrared emission, visible light, radio waves, or any other form of detection. This system will often use for sneak attack or surprise attack. The Hellbuster Gundam got this system for collecting enemy starter before starting an attack. The Hellbuster Gundam armaments include 220mm 6-tube missile pod with 120mm 3-barrel anti-ship Falcon gun on the top of it, 350mm gun launcher and 94mm high-energy rifle on the Buster Striker, but their position was switched from the original Buster Gundam. The Hellbuster Gundam often deployed with the Gundam Astray Mirage frame. During one of the missions, which was attacking the Amino Mihasa, its role was supporting from the back and it don't have any other performance. When the Mirage frame lost to the Gundam Astray Blue Frame second revise, the Hellbuster Gundam assisted its escape and fought both Blue Frame and Gold Frame Amatsu Mina. As the Liberians disbanded, the Hellbuster Gundam went missing and nobody knows where it went. Thanks for watching this video. If you like my videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell next to it to get the notification whenever I upload a new video. Comment down below to tell me your thoughts and topic suggestion. Donation link is in the description and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.